Right, now we come to chapter 41, which is another Ha-Mim chapter, and it's Fussilat. And Fussilat is one of the chapters which I connected with very early on. That's because of the verse 53 in this chapter, which is سنريهم آياتنا في الآفاق وفي أنفسهم حتى يتبين لهم أنه الحق. Soon we will show them signs in the horizon and in themselves until they see that, until it's clear to them that this is the truth. To me, that is one of the key ayat in the verification of the Quran. So we will come to that ayat in a bit. Let's begin with the opening of Ha-Mim. So verses 2 to 3, it's very significant. Tanzilum minar rahmanir rahim. As we know, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim opens every kitab or every book in the Quran. Yeah, there are 113 books. Each begins with Bismillah. Not coincidentally, the third ayat says Kitabun, a book. Fussilat ayatuhu. Its ayat are detailed or lucid. Qur'anan Arabiyan liqawmi ya'lamun. A faultless recitation for those who keep seeking knowledge. So this is the beginning which marks the Quran as its theme. Then it talks about the role of the Quran. Bashiran wa nadhiran, gives good news and warnings. The disbelievers, they say our hearts are under veils. So the responses of the Quran is here. It's just like in Yasin, which talks about the responses of people given the decisive Quran. So this is another type of the Quran, another mode of the Quran's revelation. Next, the chapter actually talks about the people of Ad who arrogated in the land, the people of Thamud as well. And it continues and talks about the consequences of such a rejection. Then it punctuates that story with the unbelievers again. It says, وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, and those who have rejected. Rejected what? What? Rejected the narratives of what was just narrated before. They say, لَا تَسْمَعُوا لِهَذَا الْقُرْآنِ, do not listen to this Quran. وَأَلْغَوْا فِيهِ, or make light of it, make it inconsequential, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَغْلِبُونَ, that you may gain the upper hand or that you may win over it. So here we can see that the Quran is the theme of this chapter, and this chapter is peppered with these stories to help us understand that their rejection is equivalent to rejection of the Quran, if not the same thing altogether. Applying the verses is also shown. That is in verse 30, which says, those who say our Lord is Allah, and they stand straight, they do istiqamah, they establish, the angels descend on them and say, fear you not, nor grieve, but receive glad tidings. So that's the application essentially. And it says, who is better in speech? وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَوْلًا مِمَّا دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ, who calls to Allah. Call. Where did we hear that before? That's in chapter 40. وَعَمِلَ الصَّالِحًا, and works righteousness, and says, وَقَالَ إِنَّنِي مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ, sorry. So here we can see that the message of the Quran is being abbreviated into this. It is da'a ila Allah, calling towards Allah. You don't have to actually use the word Allah. Some people use the word truth. Some people use the word God. Doesn't matter really, as long as it's dealing with the same concept. وَعَمِلَ الصَّالِحًا, and works righteousness. He keeps on doing good, bringing benefit, and he says, إِنَّنِي مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ, I am from the Muslimin, one who instigates soundness and wholeness. The ending of this chapter, I believe, starts with verse 41 itself. It says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِالذِّكْرِ, verily those who have rejected with the dhikr. What is the dhikr? Well, the beginning of the chapter has shown it is the Quran itself. لَمَّا جَاءَهُمْ, when it comes to them. وَإِنَّهُ لَكِتَابٌ عَزِيزٌ, and verily it is a book of exalted honor. What is this book? Well, we can see the Muslims keep it. This is the Quran. And it says, لا يأته الباطل من بين يديه ولا من خلفه. No falsehood shall enter it from before it or behind it. We can see that again. The dhikr is constantly being protected. It is constantly being recited, and it is revered by the Ahl al-Dhikr, the Muslims themselves, the people of the dhikr. And it continues, nothing is said to you that was not said to those or the messengers before you. So that shows the preservation of the message again. So the Quran is talking about its own preservation. Then it talks, it says about the attribute of the Quran's language. وَلَوْلَا جَعَلْنَاهُ قُرْآنًا عَجَمِيًّا لَقَالُوا لَوْلَا فُصِّلَتْ آيَاتُهُ. If we sent this down as a Quran with faulty language, they would have said, why are its verses not detailed? So the Quran is detailed because its language is Arabian, it's faultless language, it's systematic. In chapter 12 verse 2 it says لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ. So the Quran is in faultless language so that you may think systematically about its meaning. Then it compares it with Musa. It says وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا مُوسَى الْكِتَابِ. So now it takes us back to Al-Kitab of Musa. So Al-Kitab of Musa and the Quran are very comparable concepts. As we've said before in the overview, whenever Musa is mentioned, more often than not, the Quran is mentioned very near it, showing that there is some kind of similarity between the processes. Then it continues on till verse 52, which says, قُلْ أَرَأَيْتُمْ إِنْ كَانَ مِنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ ثُمَّ كَفَرْتُمْ بِهِ. If this is from Allah and you reject it, مَنْ أَضَلُّ مِمَّنْ هُوَ فِي شِقَاقٍ بَعِيدٍ. Who is more astray than the one who is in a far schism? So what is the schism here? Shiqaq shows separation. Shaqqu, yeah, it's a separation. So this revelation is not separation, it is when you are fully in reality. And you are separated if you reject or conceal the separation. Then what is the answer to this? It's really amazing about the syntax of this passage. It then says, سَنُرِيهِمْ آيَاتِنَا. This is my favorite verse actually from before. سَنُرِيهِمْ آيَاتِنَا فِي الْأَفَاقِ وَفِي الْأَنفُسِهِمْ. Soon we will show them the signs in the horizon. That means you are experiencing signs in your horizon. No two people share a horizon. وَفِي أَنفُسِهِمْ, and in their souls. حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَهُمْ أَنَّهُ الْحَقِّ, until it is clear to them that this is al-haq. Al-haq. Al-haq, as we know, it is the truth as opposed to falsehood. Allah Himself is al-haq. That's chapter 22 verse 6. أَوَلَمْ يَكْفِي بِرَبِّكَ أَنَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. Is it not enough for them that your Lord is witness over everything? Then it tells you how to see these signs and what the signs means, and that's the final verse of this. It says, أَلَا إِنَّهُمْ فِي مِرْيَةٍ مِنْ لِقَاءِ رَبِّهِمْ. But no, they are in doubt about the meeting with their Lord. أَلَا إِنَّهُ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ مُحِيطٌ. Is He not? He is indeed the one who encompasses everything. So that's how we understand the divine element in the Quran. The Quran is that which encapsulates the human reality. Kulli shay'in, everything we need to know, it's right there. It will cover every aspect of human life. And this chapter shows the application of the Quran in that respect. It's different from Yasin, which is the Hakimiyah aspect of the Quran. Yasin wal Quran al-Hakim. Yeah, so this is different. So there we have it. This is chapter 41. We now move on to chapter 42.